Sousa Show. Sports, pain.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at Ulike, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. Ulike. With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use ad pace.
And pace.
Sports.
O'clock on the dot. We are here. We are in Waco, Texas, being broadcast worldwide, all over. If you're in Bali and you're watching this right now, we got huge support in Bali. What up? Scotty Swingler. I know he's got people over there. We got people at Slovacic's, that's for sure. Want to thank them so much. Also want to thank Sikora Family Ford. If you're looking for a car, go to Sikora Family Ford. Truthfully, they're the best people to deal with. You don't feel rushed. You don't feel like, I'm coming in here, I'm feeling the pressure. No, it's kind of a family. I mean, it legit is a family. Sikora Family Ford. The scores are everywhere and they're awesome. So if you're in the market, make that your first stop and go from there. You're going to do what you're going to do, but you got to tap into the opportunities there. Of course, D1 and Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers and Crawford Austin Properties. helping to keep this thing going. I mentioned Scotty Swingler. He is on the wheels of steel today. And, man, we have got a lot going on. Corey Dickman has talked to me about making the show longer. And I don't know if that's like something you want to do going into the summer months because things can get a little stale. But, man, I feel like every day we don't have enough time to get everything in that we want to get in. And we got to start with Luka today because he was back at American Airlines Arena yesterday. It's funny. I'm calling. So I did a Baylor baseball game last night for ESPN or Baylor softball game. And I'm actually doing a Texas Tech softball game. It's one of those like from a remote. I got like one of those kits. So I'll call it from home on Friday. And I was on a call with the coach of Houston yesterday with Mike Leslie, because Mike Leslie from WFAA, he's calling, I think, the game on Saturday for that series, Texas Tech versus Houston. So Leslie's on the call, and, no more than a half hour, 40 minutes after the call ends, Leslie is piping hot on social media with all the sights and sounds coming out of American Airlines Arena. Manager, I was a PR guy, but 82 games is a lot. And you get to know from those 41 home games, the people in the arena, the staff, it is like a huge family. It truly is. Like if you work on game, watch the first half of the game. I was calling the softball game. So I was playing catch up last night and this morning. What were your emotions? Now you're a Lakers fan. So,
I am rooting for Luka and LeBron. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what were your emotions though watching that last night?
It was tough. It was tough because, I think in the immediate aftermath of the trade, when Luka was clearly so distraught, you expect that in the 48 hours afterward, but to see him really emotional now, it's been what, a month and a half probably since that trade went down. And I know it's his first trip back, but they had already played in LA, so it's not like it's the first time he's played against the Mavs. To see him still that devastated is the word I would use during that tribute video. Was really tough. And I will just tell you too, some of my friends who haven't jumped ship on the Mavs like I did so dramatically on this show, they were furious that the PR approach the Mavs took was this thank you, Luka. We love you, Luka. Welcome home, Luka. It's like you freaking traded him. It's not like he's retiring. It's not like he left in the off season and he's playing in it. It's not like the Kobe tour, before he retired. It's like you shipped him off, called him fat, and then because you've received so much backlash for the way that was handled, you try to make all nice and, oh, we love Luka.
It's flimsy.
It's soft. It's soft. I think for my few friends that were like, oh, I can kind of understand why they made the trade or they were being defensive. It's like, okay, now you're just talking out of both sides of your mouth, right? Stick to your guns.
Well, it's damage control.
Yeah, but stick to your guns. If you think you made the team better by swapping Luka for AD, say that. Yeah. But now that it's almost like they're like, wait, guys, we actually love Luka, dude. So that as the former Mavs fan I am, that ticked me off.
How much more time? I've thought about this morning. How much more time do you think Nico Collins has?
Nico Harrison, sorry. I think it depends on how the next season or so plays
I think
out.
he's got one more season.
I think he's got a season. That's what I'm saying. The next season or so.
I think he's a dead man walking. I believe that. I truly believe that. I think because I don't know that they'll rebound and have a good year next year. And I think that the plug will be pulled. Because there's just too much negativity around him. And it creates for a toxic environment. And again, I've said this on this show. I don't know Nico Collins at all. I clearly this was I came to the realization this morning driving over here, listening to all the reaction from last night, and I really am starting to just settle in. How we always say, I try to appreciate what these general managers do, and there's so much we don't know. It's always what I say. This trade was so bad from soup to nuts. It's the worst trade in the history of sports, maybe.
It is.
And
it is.
It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable. And I'm not like one of those people fire Nico, blah, blah, blah. But the dude probably needs to go.
Probably will get fired.
He probably needs to go just because he's connected. It's so toxic.
Well, here's why he's going to go, regardless of how you feel about the basketball move or him. Tim McMahon put this out yesterday before the game, which of course, brilliant timing.
Please.
Let's generate interest. And he said, it's a decision, sources told ESPN, that will cost the franchise at least 9 figures over the next several years. The Mavs are projected to lose dozens of millions in revenue this season due to dwindling crowds, plummeting merchandise sales, and sponsors cutting ties with the franchise. So here's the deal. Bottom line is the bottom line. This is a new ownership group for the Mavericks. Mark Cuban had built a machine. They were selling out every game. They were making money. In fact, Mark Cuban said, like, I was losing money because I was trying to keep cheap seats cheap for fans. But like, as far as like darling of the city, generating revenue, sponsorships, the Mavs were cruising. And it's not just that you traded Luka. It's now you are losing dozens of millions of dollars this season. That's why he's going to get fired.
Yeah.
Because if you're the new owners and Mark Cuban handed you a well-oiled machine and suddenly it's in the tank and it's largely, if not entirely, due to this one trade, yeah, you can't excuse that lost revenue.
No,
as an owner.
And you bring up a great point via Tim McMahon. Like that, it's unforgivable from a culture standpoint and a basketball standpoint. But now we're talking bottom line.
Which is what these owners are motivated by. Let's not pretend like it's anything else.
Especially owners that don't know the first thing about basketball.
Clearly.
And no, really. And like,
clearly.
So they're probably, I can't speak for them, but look, we go back to my dark theory from a month ago. Like, this is like the movie Major League. I mean, it truly is. I mean, the only thing that would make any sense was if they were tanking and trying to move the team. I mean,
Vegas, yeah.
And that really is like unfathomable. But this, I mean, it really is somewhat believable right now. When you look at all the money that they're losing, to your point, that is like, okay, we're in the red here. Like, that's a reason to go to, and I am not even going to pretend like I know all these steps, but to go to the city, to go to whatever, to go to the NBA and say, hey, we got to move. Like this isn't
well.
working
And
out.
here's what's fascinating about all of this is it's already pretty well known. And I believe there was a story about this a week or two ago that they need a new arena.
Yeah.
And they want to relocate. So those conversations with the city of Dallas are already happening. Certainly, I'm sure Arlington and Frisco, who are both kind of becoming hubs of professional sports in that area, are both going to want a basketball team there if they can get one and offer tax revenue and all these facility things.
Yeah.
And I think that's very much in play. So it's actually almost easier for an ownership group to pick up and move because they're already going to have to move even if they stay in DFW in the next 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. They're going to move, or maybe they could rebuild downtown, but they're going to need a new facility. Like that's really well kind of understood.
Yeah.
The city of Dallas has already had conversations about that. Maybe bear the truth. If you know something, since you live up in that way, you probably know better than me.
Yeah.
But here's what's going to, Pete, I'm going to fantasize a little bit. If the Mavericks move, let's say they go to Las Vegas, which is the big conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
It will not take but 2 seasons, I promise you, for another franchise to relocate,
To come to Dallas.
build a brand new state-of-the-art facility in Frisco.
I was waiting to make that point.
And make bukus of money.
There's no question through the NBA and through obviously someone who can see the forest through the trees and understand what, people will be like fighting over to get first in line to have that opportunity to own a team in Dallas. And the NBA, they did it with Charlotte, like and they're working on doing it with Seattle. And the Seattle thing was a little slower, and it's unfortunate. They really should have a team there.
They should. I miss the Supersonics.
Yeah, but I mean, the way that the chips could fall is, over the next couple years. So you start a team in Vegas, and then maybe the Mavs move. Maybe the Mavs move to Vegas. Now that is vacated. Dallas is vacated. So you put another expansion team in Dallas, and then you put the one in Seattle, because Vegas and Seattle are the ones that are almost like done deals.
I don't think people understand, if you're not from Texas, how big DFW is as a market. I mean, it's
a monster.
Fourth or fifth in the country. Like
it's a fifth. It goes back and forth from fourth and fifth.
It's massive.
Definitely no lower than fifth.
It's massive. And like, listen, there's a reason the Dallas Cowboys are still the most valuable franchise in the world. Like that market supports its teams.
Yeah.
Even at like the Texas Rangers were terrible for decades and we're selling tickets. Like that is a market that is thirsty for championships, thirsty, especially like seeing San Antonio have a couple dynasties down there in basketball, seeing Houston win titles. Like that is a city that is constantly hungry for professional sports franchises to have success. That Dallas community loved that 2011 championship team like better than anything. Like having lived around here in that time, it's really phenomenal.
It was a great story too, how they won. They came back in the series, and
bro,
you know,
I'm telling
Dirk
you,
step up and become the guy.
Everyone talks crap about the Cowboys now. The moment, and of course, I'm praying it just happens in my freaking lifetime at this point. The moment the Dallas Cowboys are back in the Super Bowl, that city is going to implode.
Oh yeah, it will.
With crazy joy and fanaticism.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing to think that this. Just to wrap up this point about Luka, that. You know, it's almost like on this team and the league, if as young as Luka is, if he can capitalize on the tail end of LeBron's greatness and Rob Pelinka can continue to build around him, which we're talking about the Lakers, that's when we get to this second apron thing coming up here, which is basically going to be, it's a parity pill, a big time one. Basically, like there will be big time sanctions if you go over the salary cap. So, you know, the Lakers won't be able to go nuts because it's not like now with this new salary cap, this second apron. Like if you go over the cap, it's not like you pay this huge luxury tax. Like you can't make basketball moves and be as nimble as you would want to be. Like if you're over the luxury or you're over the salary cap, like I can't trade two guys now. You know, I can only trade one. Like there's all kinds of different details and there's different levels. So that will maybe temper some of the success that the Lakers would have through their great resources, right? But they're still going to have more money than anybody else to spend.
Well,
or just as much.
And here's the thing, like I'm just convinced, and maybe I'm too romantic about it. I can be romantic about professional basketball. I really can be, because it's one guy can change a franchise, a city, a story constantly. That's the beauty of basketball. I will be shocked if the Lakers don't win a title in the next two seasons.
Dude, they can win this year.
Including this year.
Yeah.
Because I think Luka, you know, and I am a homer in saying this because he played for the Mavs. I think he's the best player in the league when he's healthy. There's no one that can take over a game like that.
Yeah.
SGA hasn't proven it. Ant-Man hasn't proven it yet. Like he is the best player in the NBA. And he's with LeBron James, who consistently plays his best in the playoffs. It will shock. And I think JJ Redick's legit.
Yeah.
Like I already thought that, and they've had a good season. Like he's legit.
Yes.
It won't surprise any of us if they win a title in the next season or two. A lot of that depends on health stuff. And then, if you talk about the era post LeBron, you now have the most marketable star in the league, I think, if they win a title together in Luka. And if Luka even plays till he's 33, he's 26 now. If he even plays 7 more years, which I hope he plays a lot longer than that. Let's say, like, worst case scenario, he only plays 6 or 7 more seasons, and he gets to like 4 NBA titles in that time. The value of that for the Los Angeles Lakers, like they continue to be, the Yankees comparison is so apt. Like they continue to be the storied franchise in the league.
And there's a reason why these franchises win. And there's a reason why holistically we don't love them. You know, like that's like, we're not huge fans of them because they're always winning. And, you know, they're like the bully. Any other Luka thoughts?
Nah, I'm rooting for him, man. I love that guy.
I think Scotty's going to get emotional.
I really don't know how you can love basketball and not love watching him play. Because it like, you know, some people mock him for it, but it's just fundamental. Like he's not faster than anybody. He's not more athletic than anybody, but he shoots the hell out of the basketball and he knows how to get by. I mean, those highlights I was showing, there's constantly 3 or 4 bodies around him and he just slips between or shoots over. Like he is incredible. So,
and last night was like what I would call like a return, like a light version. And here's what I mean. Like Luka didn't want to leave. So like the dramatic, reality TV guy in me, like wasn't quite as interested because there was no bad blood. Like LeBron going back to Cleveland,
I would say there's bad. I bet Luka wants to step on Nico Harrison's face.
Yeah, but that's
every morning
one guy.
when he gets out of bed.
100%. But it's not like the player that forces his way out of a city and comes back. Where that night. I mean, you can go back and look at some of the footage and read the stories. In December of 2010, when LeBron came back to Cleveland, it was scary.
Yeah,
it was not safe.
Right.
And by the way, another tip of the cap to LeBron. Like last night was Luka's night. You didn't hear. I didn't hear the word LeBron James once. Like LeBron, like he does get it, dude. Like
he went very mini viral on Twitter for about 10 minutes when he caught that alley-oop above the box on the backboard and jammed it. I tweeted about that because that dude's 40 years old and still jumping higher than most people.
But that's on the floor. Like
yeah. As far as like off the floor,
he
no
gave way to Luka. It was his night, and that was like you barely even knew he was there.
By the way, this is the best case scenario for LeBron as he works towards retirement. Is he has even for 5 years now said how much he respects Luka as a player.
Yeah.
So I think he defers to Luka's star power so much easier than he would if it was almost anybody else.
Yeah. One more thing before we get to our second segment where we're going to talk about BYU, and Scotty has some splaining to do.
Yep.
But we'll talk about that in a second. After the break, we'll get to all the BYU stuff. I personally had an experience with a return night, and it was when I was working for the Philadelphia 76ers. Allen Iverson was traded in 2006 to Denver. And it was a parting of ways that was kind of ugly. Like Allen was going to Atlantic City. He always did. He went a lot, but there was early in the season, he had gone to Vegas. They had an away game, and he wouldn't get off the team bus after they got to like Detroit or something, because he was pissed at the team because they were pissed at him because of his insubordination. And he showed up at practice at the facility one day, and Maurice Cheeks was like, beat it, get out of here. And Cheeks just kind of was like, you're gone. And shortly after that, he was traded. So the Nuggets weren't on the schedule for the Sixers after the trade happened. So the following year in 2008, I think it was the spring of 2008 or winter of 2008, Allen returned with the Denver Nuggets. And just to give some context, like that was the most I worked in the NBA for like 6-7 years. That was the most amazing night I'd ever been a part of. I didn't work for a team that won a championship. The Sixers went to the playoffs like 2 or 3 times. The Bobcats always sucked. But that was an amazing night. And honestly, I would put it toe to toe, and the Iverson night would knock it out against Luka's night last night. Allen Iverson, that was building for a month in advance. Like people could not wait. And there was a lot of what's going to happen. What's he going to do? He goes out to the court. He kisses the center court, and he walks over. Him and Mo Cheeks had not talked because Cheeks is coaching the Sixers. He walks over to Cheeks. He gives him a big hug. It was bananas, and the whole city was just turned upside down. And that Luka night last night reminded me of Iverson's return. And it also reminded me of just how good Allen Iverson was. I mean, my God, he was so good. And it's, and he was like, this is an interesting comparison. Like like the stuff that Luka was accused of, Allen Iverson was that. Like going out every night, drinking all the time, like practice, talking about practice, right? But I think the thing about Allen and the difference between he and Luka was the day and age where Allen played. It gave him more of an opportunity to play every night. And this is not Luka's fault. This is just literally the world we live in now, where if you've got, your toe gets stubbed, you're going to sit out for 4 games. That's like the norm. Like when Iverson played, yeah, there were guys who would dog it, and I don't want to take everything away or anything away from Allen Iverson's grit and determination. And like, the guy was every game 100%, and that's why Philly loved him so much, because he was like the city. He was diving on the floor for loose balls. Like, I think people like the fact that he was out all night and coming to the arena the next day half drunk, dropping 40 points. There's something that I don't want to call it relatable, but the everyman approach, like everybody's shown up to work hungover, right? And then you go ahead and you find a way to produce. Allen Iverson did that in front of thousands of people every night. But it did remind me of that Allen Iverson night, and I just wanted to share, like, that was a special, special night in Philadelphia when Iverson came back. And I'm happy that Luka, and Luka got a similar reception. I do love to see how much love there is for some of these stars and the connection between the stars and the city. And it was cool to see Cuban, like hugging Luka, and it's tough. It's tough though for Dallas fans. I think that just a couple things to wrap up. This is probably the worst transaction since Babe Ruth, and I think that there is, it really does look like we're watching the script of Major League play out before us. It really does. That's way too like weird and dark, but I mean, that's the only thing that will make sense. That, and this is the worst trade ever of all time. And it was just so bungled and such a screw up job by Nico Harrison and whoever else had their hands in it. It's historic either way. So we got some history we're going to tap into now. BYU and their offseason. And Scotty and myself, I think I caught some shrapnel. We really took it in the comments yesterday. So we're going to revisit that. We're going to come back and chat about it. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics, continues after this.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us on our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
In Motion is more than just a name. It's a legacy of innovation. From supplying electric vehicle parts like motors and inverters since the 1960s to creating cutting-edge electric scooters, hoverboards, and unicycles. In Motion is shaping the future of mobility. Whether you're looking for industrial power solutions or accessible personal transport, In Motion has you covered. Explore our products and experience the future of movement. Visit store.inmotionworld.com today.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files, remove malware and viruses, and protect your device. It also optimizes your Mac's hard disk, fixes disk permission issues, and cleans memory, all to boost your Mac's performance to the max. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle.
The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It's all natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic, which is really great for your baby's sensitive skin.
And its Movie Climate Tag, which regulates your baby's temperature.
You can also get Joy's crib sheets, which are made of the same super soft material.
Joy gave my baby comfort
and gave me peace of mind.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey, past, present, and future. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence, elevate creativity, and honor what matters most. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
Maud Lily is your go-to for stylish and affordable fashion that fits your life. Whether you're looking for the perfect swimsuit for a beach day, a chic dress for a night out, or cozy tops for everyday wear, Maud Lily has it all. Their extensive collection of swimwear, including bikinis, tankinis, and one-pieces, always keeps you on trend, while their dresses and tops come in flattering styles for every occasion. Visit maudlily.com today.
Zach Burke and I were talking, Scotty Swingler, of course, in here. Zach, I think of you every time now. I did the Baylor softball game when the national anthem plays. I think of those people. Zach was watching a game with, I think, relatives, and the anthem played on the game they were watching on a television, and everybody stood up in the room. I love that. And I don't knock it, but now what happens is I'm always standing for the anthem, right? I'm always looking at the stars and stripes and loving it. But now when I'm at home, I'm like, oh, do I need to stand up? So I think I might be standing up sooner or later, because it's one of those things, if you think about it, it's like, oh, gosh, maybe I should do it. I don't know. Anyways, from America to the great state of Utah, where in Provo, they are killing it this offseason. Yesterday, Scotty Swingler and I talked about how impressive BYU's offseason has been. And I have, if you watch this show, constantly given a tip of the cap to BYU, what they've done with Kevin Young. I believe that the Cougars are now the blueprint for every other college basketball program in America. The moment they hired Kevin Young and the way that he has that program running basically like an NBA organization, which not only creates a culture where you can win, it also becomes really attractive to recruits because, let's face it, everybody wants to play in the NBA. I mean, I wanted to play in the NBA. I had no chance. But we all have those aspirations. So why wouldn't you go somewhere where you can get a top flight opportunity to go to the next level? However, when we talked about this yesterday, we were, and I can say, by the way, I did my due diligence this morning. We got Jake Hatch coming on this morning from Locked On Cougars. I reached out to Steve Bartle, a writer for KSL out in Salt Lake City. I also reached out to Drake Toll from Locked On Big 12. Bartle's at the doctor. Toll is dealing with the family thing, and Hatch is actually on the air right now. So I don't want to be over here like footloose and fancy free, but like I said, Hatch is going to join us tomorrow. But in the present moment, I know that Scotty has done some research, and I know that he wants to address yesterday's controversy because, and we appreciate this, a lot of Cougar fans were in the comments, dude, and it wasn't pretty for some of them, Scotty. I mean, some of them. By the way, I've called many games in Provo, and it's an amazing experience at the Marriott Center. I've gotten to know the people out there. I love Provo. And it's an amazing place to play, but we were talking about what lures players to go there right now. Yeah. Like everywhere else, outside of the Kevin Young stuff, I talked about how attractive that is, but money is a big thing here.
Big time. Yeah. And hey, I want to personally thank everybody that commented and interacted with that video yesterday. That's awesome. Like we actually love it. And frankly, like I think Pete feels the same way. If we ever say anything that is inaccurate or clearly 100% untrue, please correct us. Like we love it. So this is our attempt to respond to. We got a lot of comments yesterday from BYU fans and members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I think the main takeaway from all of them that they wanted to make clear, and this is where I told Pete this morning, I need to use more precise language because I think mentally I meant this, but it wasn't very precise as we were just spitballing.
Of course,
yesterday.
and that's you got to realize, like, I don't want to come in on here and push back, but we're on the air here, and this is obviously live. Like, it's like a conversation you have with someone. As careful as we want to be with comments that we make and the accuracy of them, I've learned from Colin Cowherd, and I appreciate Howard Stern and his ability to broadcast and all these years. Like, I've heard those guys openly talk about it. Like, you're on the air for 3 hours a day. Like, you're going to say some stuff.
Say some things that are
that are a
not
little
precise.
So
imprecise. Yeah. So here's the main takeaway from all those comments, and I thank all of you. Main takeaway is the church itself is not funding NIL. I did not mean to imply that, but I can certainly see why that could have been implied from our comments yesterday. So I just want to clarify. And I thought Lou Miles did the best job of summarizing this. And I appreciate Lou's comment. He said, I can unequivocally state that no church funds are expended for NIL money on BYU athletics in general. Specifically, NIL money comes from a myriad of wealthy BYU donors through the Cougar Collective. Fans are worldwide, and there is no end to booster money from these supporters. That is what I think we both meant to say, and we're probably imprecise in saying yesterday.
Yeah, and that's, I think that was the point. Like, I grew up Catholic, right? Villanova is a Catholic school outside of Philadelphia, but it's one of many Catholic schools in that area, let alone in the country, right? Some places in America there's obviously not as many Catholics, but when you look at BYU being one of, and again, we could get down and split hairs, but
I've got some details on that if we want to talk about that next.
Yeah, please.
So that was another, I think, multi-comment refrain we heard from many people was people were commenting like, Scotty said BYU is the only Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints school. There's actually more than that. I just want to, I'm not doubling down on, there's only one. But I do want,
if you have to.
I do want to double down on the difference between, I brought up Baptist specifically because I went to Baylor.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Baptist church, so that's the world I know well. And my comparison was, if you're a Baptist, there's dozens of schools you could be root for, be an alumni of, support with your giving towards NIL. It's not just Baylor. Baylor's the biggest one, but there's tons of them.
Yeah.
And whereas with BYU, I feel like BYU is really the only one. That was kind of my comment yesterday. So I asked ChatGPT, and your mileage may vary on how you appreciate ChatGPT, but for information gathering, it can be useful. And I just asked, how many Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints colleges are there in the United States? And it replied, as of now, the LDS Church directly operates 4 higher education institutions in the United States: BYU, BYU Idaho, BYU Hawaii, and Ensign College, which some commenters shared with me as well. So that's for LDS churches. So I asked about Baptist colleges, and its first response was that number is really difficult to estimate because there are so many Baptist and so many schools which directly or indirectly affiliate with Baptist, which is kind of what I said yesterday. So I said, okay, fair enough. Give me your best guesstimation. And it said there are approximately 80 to 100 Baptist colleges in the United States. And I said, can you just tell me a few that compete in NCAA athletics? And it shared Baylor, Liberty, which I think people forget. That's a Baptist school that is Division I, competitive in football, competitive in basketball. Samford, and then California Baptist and Dallas Baptist are quickly rising. I know, being from Texas, a lot of Baptists in Texas support Dallas Baptist.
Dallas Baptist has a great baseball team.
They do, yeah. And a lot of Baptists in Texas support them rather than Baylor for different reasons. So all that to say, going again back to the comment we received from the what did I just say? His name? Lou. Yep.
Lou.
Going back to Lou's comment. If you are a member of the LDS Church around the world, your biggest and most well-known institution of higher learning by far is BYU. And so if you have interest in the athletic department, NIL, that's where your dollars go. That's what Lou said. That's what I think we were trying to say.
And I would love to hear, and again, we're going to talk to Jay Catch about this.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we'll have more perspectives on that.
But I would love to hear how often donations come to BYU from people who didn't go to school there. I'd be interested to hear that too.
Yeah.
You know,
well, and so I've heard specifically too, that's why.
And not that you have to go to school. I didn't go to Villanova. I grew up there. I went to Richmond. My whole family went there, but I have a total, I've talked about it a million times, connection with that school. And it's like a blood relative. So if I was like a billionaire or millionaire, I probably would go donate to Richmond first. You get my idea.
But so something that's been pointed out to me in seasons past is the reason their fans travel so well, the reason so many of them show up at McLean Stadium is not necessarily because they're all flying down from Utah, though some certainly do.
Yeah.
It's that there are LDS church members in Texas that they can come catch a game in Waco and they come and they support BYU. Like that is a very, very unique and I think cool, by the way. I think that's a really special element of that school. The ties with the church, I think, are really, really special and significant and good. There was one more thing that all the comments pointed out. I wanted to not fail.
We should have tried to get Caleb Lohner on. I will tell you this, like one thing I think of when I think of BYU and its current standing, and it reminds me of Notre Dame without the competition, in a sense where there was a time when every Catholic in America, it seemed like, was behind Notre Dame, right? Like if you were a Catholic, because a lot of times in the Northeast, you don't have like a powerhouse football program. It just doesn't work like that up there. Not like it does in Texas or Florida, or, you know, when you get to the West Coast, obviously. So it didn't matter where you went to school. If you're a Catholic, you love Notre Dame. Now, this was not a situation where, you know, the guy that lived in Chicago that worked at the steel mill, like Rudy's dad, you know, like he didn't have, it's not like he was donating money. There was just a ton of support and love behind it. Now it's different.
Right.
It's a different day and age where, you know, money matters.
Big time.
So, and these collectives, I know for a fact, like people were talking about tampering with Rob Wright, like that. Nobody tampered with Rob Wright. The way that the NIL works is like, I can reach out to, if Scotty is a player and he's at Baylor, and I'm affiliated with a BYU collective, I don't run any of this past Kevin Young. None. I don't have to. I reach out to Scotty's dad or Scotty's agent or whoever is representing him. And I'm like, yo, we got $5 million for Scott if he will come play basketball at BYU. Like, no, and that is like the absolute truth. That is,
and by the current rules, that's totally
100%
in play.
100%.
Yeah.
So until that gets figured out, you know, we'll be talking about things like this at all, but there's no tampering. So like in that situation, and don't, like, I think people were like tampering. No tampering at all. And by the way, I still want to bring this up as I echo the sentiments of Jay Billis. Like, we talk about Rob Wright leaving and going to BYU or anybody else transferring. It's like, these coaches have been doing this forever. So like, you know, like they introduced what's his face, Kevin Willard of Villanova yesterday. I honestly, I didn't even want to watch the press conference. I was like, I'm taking a break, because that guy seems like, I don't know. It just kind of seems a little, that whole thing seems dirty, how he left Maryland. But you know, hey, let's parade him around and hold a press conference. You know, it's much, much different.
Yeah,
you know,
totally. I did remember the one more thing I wanted to say, just to acknowledge the comments. There were several comments. I think it was based on something you said, again, just imprecise language. Yeah. There was clarity. BYU fans want us to know you don't have to be a member of the LDS church to attend BYU.
Okay.
You can be openly whatever you want and attend BYU. And I think
openly whatever you, what do you mean by that?
Like religiously. Okay. Yeah. Like I could go as a Baptist and let them know I'm coming. I do have faith. It is the Baptist faith. Totally, they're totally cool. So like,
they're a lot like Baylor like that. Like if you, one time I went to a shoot around at the Marriott Center and I was like, what the heck is going on? It was a Tuesday afternoon and there's cars everywhere. And they were like, oh no, this is like, they hold like a worship, like churches and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just like Baylor.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Baylor does that on Mondays.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we apologize for imprecise language. We love BYU.
Yeah. We really do.
They
really,
add
really
so
do.
much to the Big 12. Yeah. It's now number 1 on my list of away visits I need to make in the Big 12.
Yeah.
All loved. But thanks for the comments, and I hope you'll continue to interact.
The only thing I didn't like about BYU was Mark Pope would make us during shoot around. You be having a conversation, and all of a sudden, you would be like, okay, like nobody can talk right now. Everybody's got to be quiet. And he would make everyone in the gym silent, and his guys shoot free throws. So when BYU shoots free throws during shoot around, there's no talking. And I respected it, but it made me nervous. I was like, oh my God, is Mark Pope going to throw me out of the gym? My man Tyson, who's the sports information guy, will come over and be like, you can't talk. I was like, all right, no problem. Because my voice can carry. All right, we're going to carry you to the next segment. We're coming back. Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovaceks. Tony Hayden is joining us. Finally, we're recapping the White Lotus. Spoiler alert. We're going to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. So put some cotton in your ears, or, you can watch something else. But I'd love for you to keep watching us. We'll be back.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. BizChair.com. Your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kitbag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
So we're back. Short last segment. Tony we just got in touch with Tony. He's got to cancel. His mom is in the hospital, but she's okay. She's all right. And Tish Hayden is a legend. So that's good to know that she's all right. I like when people tell you that like that's a great move by Tone, by the way. Okay, we're at the hospital, but she's fine. And Tony's not full of crap, like one of those people like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. So hopefully she'll be okay. That happened last night. We called the softball game. And this woman at second base, Pritchard was her name. She'd had a rough day with like ground balls and movement on balls all afternoon long. And she got her foot caught on the infield dirt and it twisted. And she went down, and I was like, oh, and that's a tough moment when you're calling a game, right? Scotty knows, he's done it. Like when a guy or a girl goes down, and I've listened to Joe Buck talk about it. I've talked to some of my mentors about it, like how to handle that. And silence is a good way. You do not speculate, because speculation is another word for guessing. And so this young woman is down for about 10 minutes. And, they're thinking about, like, you see this, the stretcher deal, like maybe they'll bring that out. And it looked like, speaking openly and honestly now with you guys, it looked like an ACL. And so I was like, man, but it turned out they ran it back. She had just sprained her ankle. And they got her off the field. And the girl's tough. And she stayed in the dugout. I think they got her ice. It looked way worse than it was. But you do coaches interviews during these ESPN games. And at the top of the fourth inning, UTSA was getting boat raced. And so their coach, Van Studeman, was like, I'm not going to do the interview. Because we were like, hey, if you want to pass on it, it's fine. She's like, yeah, that's cool. I'm not going to do the interview. But make sure everybody knows that, Mandy's okay. And I was like, that's awesome. And it's not like, it's funny because I don't think she gave a hoot about like the quality of our broadcast. She wanted like her parents to know, or anybody else who was watching, that she was okay. So that was great news. She's okay. Tish Hayden is okay. We're going to keep our prayers up for her though. And the Masters is underway. I screwed up. I did not get my bets in. And I was doing it last night. And I think I'm going to wait till the end of this first round. And get a bet in, or I like the idea. Scheffler's out there now. He is 2 under on 3. And I mean, everybody's kind of like, it's happening. Do you have, Scotty, what is your interest in the Masters on a scale of 1 to 10? Real talk.
1.
1, really?
I am not an enjoyer of watching golf.
So, okay.
I think if someone took me to play, I would probably enjoy it. But I have no interest in watching men play golf.
Okay. What does it take?
So that's more of me being a hater than.
Yeah. What does it take for you to get dialed in to watch golf? Like what? What do you need on a Sunday? Do you need Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy?
If there's like some
Bryson
drama,
DeChambeau,
if there's like some drama, like when Tiger was making a comeback, like I would maybe turn it on, but like, yeah, I'm just not into it. I think if I had money on it, I'd watch it, but I don't. But I can say in the same breath, I have no interest in it, and I think it's probably a top 4 annual sporting event in America. Like I think that's pretty undeniable. It's like the Super Bowl, the World Series.
It's the Masters,
the Kentucky Derby and the Masters. Like, if you're just talking about like seminal American sporting events, like it's up there.
All right. So let's see right now. Again, it is underway. Very early. Bernard Langer, 1 under on 11. Just some notable names.
Here's why I might turn it on in this weekend, Pete.
Yeah.
My one of the fantasy football leagues I'm in.
Yeah.
Have been in for a few years. The commissioner decided that to determine next season's draft order, we're all going to bet on a golfer, and then he's just going to stack the draft.
Take?
Well, so I finished second to last in fantasy football this season, which was my worst finish ever. I need to add. I'm usually very good at fantasy football. I had a rough season. So I got Scotty. I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got Scotty.
Good for you.
I said I know nothing about the sport. first guy took Rory. I said, well, he's the betting favorite. I might as well ride the odds. And his name's Scotty, too. Like, it's appropriate.
Dude, his name is basically your name. Bro.
Exactly.
I mean, how many
Scotty
times
Scheffler, Scotty Swingler.
How often do you get that?
Not as often as you think. Way more often. There was one day, it was Monday. On Monday, I had a guy in a sales call say, beam me up. And then I walked into a bar and had someone say, Scotty doesn't know. Those are the two that I hear all the time.
Scotty Swingler, Scotty Scheffler. All right, we're wrapping up now because my lovely fiance is having a procedure. Everybody's getting procedures. God, life can be heavy sometimes. Another text, Tony says, mom had a procedure, a little bit of a complication, surgery to repair it. Seems routine. All right, let's go. And by the way, Tony, let me tell a quick story about Tony. Tony was a heathen like me and the rest of my friends, right? Running around. He wasn't ever as bad as we were, but, you know, the locker room talk, the drinking. Tony was never a big drinker, but he was always around it. He had some friends that were real degenerates, myself included. So Tony he was supposed to go play at Catholic University, a Division III. He was the leading scorer in the Philadelphia Catholic League. 6'5" white dude, was just crafty and tough, but he was slow. And maybe he's probably 6'6". So he goes to, or recruiting is happening. He and I are working out a lot at the same time because we're like best buddies and we're both going to college. I'm going to play football, I thought, before I found out about my heart. And this guy that was a Division III coach at Catholic University, Tony got an opportunity to walk on at Mount St. Mary's. And the guy from Catholic was like, you can't make it. Like, you can't go Division I. Like, why would you do that? You got to come here. And what did Tone do? He goes to Mount St. Mary's, earns a scholarship, and takes his team to the NCAA tournament where they got crushed by Michigan State. But in his freshman or sophomore year, legit, you could say he found God. And he was one of the first people in my life to introduce spirituality to me, like in a no holds barred fashion, where it was like, and that's the beauty of faith. Like, it was undenying. Like, he was around a bunch of guys who were like, not like that at all. He stuck with us. He always hung with us, but he was going to talk about it every so often, and the behavior changed. And he met a woman, Mary Kate, at Mount St. Mary's, who was kind of going through the same experience he was with spirituality. They're married 30 years. Yeah, amazing family, 5 kids. They drive him crazy. They're just like we were when we were younger. So Tone's the man. White Lotus recap with Tone probably sometime next week. That's it for the show. We'll be in Flower Mound tomorrow, or I will be. Jake Hatch from Locked On BYU is going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit more about BYU recruiting and really get to the bottom of this thread as far as the NIL. And I'm sure Jake can really shed light on some of the recruitment stuff and the NIL stuff, and why they are booming out there basketball-wise in Provo. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is Stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.